Another imposter threatens me? I am Diana of Themyscira. Go back to your universe.
Begin.
Hey, what's up you guys? Akromaniac here. So, this is actually somewhat, like older footage, like a couple of months ago. This was pretty much one of the last matches that I had within Injustice 2. You know, obviously before Mortal Kombat 1 dropped, and then I just basically exclusively just been playing that. So I really just wanted to upload it. I realistically didn't think that I was going to. I obviously wanted to initially because I was only uploading Injustice 2 matches, you know, prior to MK's release. But it started to seem like, you know, the game dropped and that's going to be the new game, you know, and it seemed promising at the beginning, so I was like, yeah, it's probably not even worth the effort, you know. But what I wanted to showcase, at least, I'm not going to be talking that much, it's probably just going to be for the first couple of minutes of this video in its entirety. I wanted to show you guys what an actual fully developed fighting game looks like, because I think that a lot of people, not even I think, it's pretty obvious, they started off with MK11. Like, that was the very first one that they started with, and that was the only reference point. And then from Mortal Kombat 11 they obviously came to Mortal Kombat 1, you know. So there are a lot of components that you don't even grasp altogether, you know, that are actually key to a fighting game in its entirety. So like what I want to showcase, at least with this, is like you can just notice the speed difference itself, like just between actually playing neutral and the movement and the interactions and the decision making and the combos, the conversions, the Oki, every single bit. It's like, it's fast, you know. Like, this is how fighting games are meant to be. It's supposed to be quick. Fighting games are legitimately next level chess, and that analogy itself is really just what I want to get into, is that within this game, the actual mechanics within it is that you have invincible backdashing, meaning that the literal, like the start of your backdash itself, universally across every single character, the beginning of your backdash, I think the first like 10 frames or so, I don't know the exact number, but for the initial beginning of it, it's fully invincible. So you can't do anything. Like, there's no dash canceling in it, because then that would be kind of broke, realistically. The purpose of it is that it's giving you an actual defensive means that don't require a resource that you can actually utilize, so that way, you know, you always do have some semblance of an option. Sometimes it may not do anything, because like the pocket that you want to backdash in, you're still going to get clipped by something, you're still going to be caught, so you still got to hold it anyways. That's not necessarily a bad thing, you know, overall, but it's just to present an actual option. And then at the same time too, as you saw right there, the game offers you armor as well. Armor in this game, for the most part, universally, with the exception of very, very few characters, armor is usually active, like it's tied to relatively slow moves that take like 25 frames to like 35 frames in terms of startup. Those are your back 3 and your forward 3s. They all have the capability to be armored, and you have to spend a bar to get the armor. But armor doesn't kick in until, I believe, frame 5. Like, that's when it actually begins within itself. I could be wrong, maybe it's frame 4, I don't remember the exact amount. If anything, I'll just, you know, jot down like little text either in the video or within the comments. But it's presenting two different options. One is a defensive option. I mean, they're both really defensive, realistically, when you really think about it. But the meterless one that costs no resource, you know, and is fully invincible, it doesn't net you an actual combo, unless the pocket, like the whiff itself, is just that big that you can backdash and then still punish. You know, that's the only time that you can really get a combo. Whereas the other one that gives you armor, so you can just tank attacks and then attack afterwards and get a combo off of it, it requires bar, and it's from a significantly slower move. You know, like, there was actual thought behind it. There was thought within the mechanics, how they should operate, and what they should do, and what the frame data itself should be, like what the property should be. This aspect itself just doesn't exist in Mortal Kombat. Like, it doesn't exist in MK11, doesn't exist in MK1. Like, it's not actually there. If characters have particular movements that actually give them an actual advantage or an actual legitimate answer, it's very selective, it's not universal. Like, the whole cast, all of Injustice, every single character has these options. This isn't just limited to just one or two or just the cool kids, you know, it's everybody. And as you saw right there too, even the knockdowns, you have the tech rolling, and you have actual hard knockdowns. See, like right there, the lasso, that's a hard knockdown. So you're gonna be planted there until it's time for you to get up. This game as well, it does also have delayed wake-ups, like a delayed get-up, but you have to wait for the whole get-up to even finish before you can actually do an attack. And like in a previous video that I just released, you know, the duration of the get-up itself, you cannot perform attacks afterwards anyways. So if the opponent is just baiting it out, or they're just waiting it out, or they're just doing like good meaties in general, you have to block, or you will get launched, or you will get hit. And I guess one of the final notes too, I love the dialogue in this game. I love how intense it is and how immersive it is, you know. It's just a constant battle, it's a constant clash. I love how the stages, you know, are just like disintegrating in the background and all of that. But one of the final things that I feel like people are trying to really, what's the word? They're really trying to keep Mortal Kombat as Mortal Kombat. And Mortal Kombat is basically, it's your fatalities, it's your gore, it's nutty, and at the same time with Mortal Kombat it's known for having a block button. And players in the community want to keep this like these staples as much as possible, but your Mortal Kombat game is no longer a Mortal Kombat game. You know, like it's no longer what it used to be. So it's clear that NetherRealm is trying to make this attempt to make it more like footsie based or more neutral oriented. Like it seems like they're trying, they're kind of failing pretty badly, but they're trying like really hard to try to make it seem more like a traditional fighting game and more on the spacing aspect and a neutral. But the thing is, the only reason why that actually works universally is because there isn't a block button in other fighting games. You know, like if your whole shit is meant on the whole spacing aspect, you need to have free movement to be able to do that, and not just keep your ass planted in place because you need to hold the block button. You know, like that completely hinders the whole aspect of the spacing bit within itself. Like the core thing with that itself is really predominantly the whole high shit about like highs and how they interact in general. The action of you crouching or doing pokes or any kind of like low sweeping move would basically, like just all of those things encompassed all together, what that allows you to do is to actually evade highs altogether, you know, so that you don't actually have to take it. Whereas in Mortal Kombat, because there's a block button, even if you're crouching, you're still going to get hit by the high if you're blocking. You know, you're still going to have to take it. Whereas within these kinds of games, you don't. You know, like, there's too much strength to highs that if you want to reap the benefits of either the auto spacing that it has, or the pushback, or the reset that it can do, or the plus frames, or the chip, or whatever kind of benefit that you can possibly gain from whatever kind of high that it is, you have to at least condition the opponent to stand, so that way you can actually get that, or have enough plus frames that you can jail the high, and that way you still reap the benefits off of it. Not, there's a fucking block button, and you can get launched for pretty much every single button in the world, unless you're holding block, so you're naturally just gonna be blocking if the opponent is there, so you're literally forced to just eat highs left and right, you know, regardless of what kind of perks that they have, and regardless of the properties. Like, that's where NetherRealm is just failing pretty badly. I realistically sort of expected them to change this going into MK1, and I was like low-key semi-hoping that within this patch they would have actually addressed something like that or done something like that, but they clearly haven't. So it's like, that's also why that's why you had to take Serena so much, you know, like the cameo. It's like, it's because you're blocking in general, like you have to block or else you're just gonna get launched, you know, like just by default, just by design. So you're already blocking, she sends out her knives, and that's it, you're already taking it. And now you have to keep on respecting it from that point onward. And it's the same across like any kind of move in general in the game that behaves in the same fashion. And then one other little thing is like the throw itself, like grabs. In this game, you can universally tech, there's no 50-50. Obviously there's a back throw and a forward throw, but there's no mix off of what kind of throw it is. It's really just based on the positioning itself. And you literally have to be like on top of the opponent to even grab them in the first place. And there's no mix, there's no guess. You notice a grab, you feel the grab because the control vibrates, you tech it just by pressing grab as well. And that's it. It's that simple. Like, why the fuck is there so, like, there's so much shit happening on the screen, as you can already see with these matches. Like, there's so much interaction going on. And now let's say the opponent gets in and they manage to land a throw. I can react to the throw. Why am I still guessing on top of that too? A literal 50-50. You know, like, I will always stand by it. It's an additional layer that doesn't actually need to be there. It's completely unnecessary. The game is too fast paced, or there's too many interactions going on that it's like, having to guess left or right with that at the same time too is ridiculous. You know, because a lot of characters, even like especially with the cameo system, half of the time you're literally gonna get full comboed from the throw itself. So why is there a guess on top of that too when you're already guessing by the base kit of the character as well? It's just too many additional opponents that don't actually have to be there. They're just there for the sake of keeping it true to the franchise, keeping it true, you know, to the company itself, but nothing else is true to it, you know? So what difference does it make? They clearly advertise and they admire and they advocate constantly reinventing themselves. So why not this too, you know? Get with the times. But that's really just about it, because I want you guys to actually just enjoy this. This is high level play. This is what legitimate, actual, good, high level fighting game shit looks like. You know, like, this is the pace of it, this is the interaction, this is how brutal it looks, you know, this is how damaging it is. Like, I'm waiting for this to come back, essentially. You know, like, absolutely no game remotely interests me. The only closest thing is Overwatch Total Mayhem. It's the closest thing to this, and that's why I keep on playing it. And I will forever stand by it. I will die on that hill. Overwatch should have had, and it should have, competitive Total Mayhem. You know, but that's a topic for another day. But yeah, I want you guys to at least just like watch this through, enjoy it. I'm pretty sure you will find this enjoyable, even like spectator wise. You know, just the hype of it, the sound effects, you know, the brutalness of it, how fast paced it is, the combos, the conversions. You know, if you like Wonder Woman, you actually get to see Wonder Woman right here, you know, in all her glory. Well, not all her glory, because it's not like Injustice 1 where she was flying at least and she had full like lasso attacks in general. But I guess I'll end with this in the sense of, if you haven't ever played Injustice 2 or you don't really know what's going on within this game, like at least with the character herself, the key things to notice is her trait. Like, the trait is that separate meter, essentially kind of like the cameo in a way, but you don't select it. Each character just comes with their own built-in trait. So hers is completely randomized. You get one of 5 different buffs. So you see the red, it's like the boots, that's Hermes. It allows her to now have access to an air dash for the full duration of it. The shield, that blue one, is Athena, and that buffs all of her shield-based attacks. Like the shield bash or the up bash, it increases the damage that it does, both on hit and on block. Like, dramatically increases it. If it's the purple one, the lasso, that is Hestia, that improves every single one of her lasso-based attacks. It increases the damage. And the other one is Demeter. It's kind of like a brownish gold looking one. Her arms are glowing. It doesn't reduce her chip, but it reduces all the damage that she takes, like, on hit. So it's a pretty significant difference. Like, you can actually, like, a combo that would traditionally do 40%, it's now going to do maybe like 25, you know, if even that, depending. And then the very, very last buff that she has, which isn't really that applicable within this matchup in particular, like within the mirror, is that one right there, the green one, which is Artemis. It buffs the bracelets. So part of her base kit is her bracelets themselves. The special off of it is that it can parry specials and it can parry attacks, like high, mids, overheads. All that it does in the parry itself is that it basically absorbs the attack, and it gives her faster recovery, and it also gives her a very, very temporary little like damage boost. So sometimes you can't even get the combo off of it anyways. Like, you can recover faster, but it's not going to actually give you anything. It's just, you don't actually take the attack. Like, you don't take the chip from it, you don't take the damage, you just completely nullify it, essentially. But in certain situations, you can actually convert off of it. Like, you can parry it, the opponent is still recovering, and then because you recovered faster due to the property of the bracelets, you can get a whiff punish on them. And from that whiff punish, you also get a little damage boost off of it. It's very, very short. It's only like literally 2 seconds worth of a damage boost, which is still sufficient, it's still good. All of that explanation is that with Artemis, it actually increases the damage boost itself. Like, it increases how much damage you're dishing back, and at the same time, it increases the duration that that damage boost is even active. And then one of the other final things to mention is also, you know, like the resource management itself. Because the same thing really applies in MK1. You know, it's like, obviously you gotta pay in mind as to how much resource your opponent has, because that's going to determine, you know, what they can actually do. Like, if they have 1 bar or 2 bars, you know, and you knock them down, they likely will have the means to wake up armor, you know. Or if they have a cameo at the same time too, you know, they can wake up with the cameo, or they could do a cameo reversal, or, you know, like, it's just an option that's there. Same applies here, you know, like with the resource, with the meter and the trait, you know, depending on the different archetypes or different characters, because everybody's trait is, they all behave different. It's a different kind of perk that they give to the character. It's a different interaction as to how it interacts with your kit. But at the same time, like, you're never gonna just throw out a fucking super. If I have 4 bars right here, right now, during this very first health bar, I'm not just gonna super the character because it's stupid. That doesn't give me the win. You know, like, unless it's some way to, like, actually close out that first round, that's the only pocket that you have and you can afford to do so, then sure. But literally 99% of the time, you're not going to actually do that. You know, if you're going to wait for that super to kill, you would wait towards the end, like, to close out the whole match in its entirety. And again, that's only a presentable option if the opponent even has 4 bars, or whichever player is trying to do that, if they actually have the 4 bars to do that. It's so moronic how ever since MK11 all the way up until this game, you know, it's like you have to pay in mind that you're not hitting the opponent too fucking hard, because then you fuck yourself over because you give them fatal blow. Like, it's such a stupid mechanic, and I will never agree with it. I don't think there's anything good out of it. I will never support it. It's just the dumbest thing in existence. You know, it's just the means of literally rewarding the losing player. Like, yo, I'm sorry, little Timmy. You know, like, we feel really, really bad that you don't know what you're doing, so here's a means to actually try to turn it around. You know, it's dumb, it's stupid, this isn't high level. You know, that kind of meta, that kind of mechanic, or mechanics like that, that's entirely not high level. You know, that's just a party game, it's just for fun, you know. If that's your niche, go ahead, you know, but you can't incorporate something like that, you can't endorse it, and legitimately try to label it as high level. You know, it's like it's an actual insult to the name of high level in its entirety. But that's really all that I really wanted to mention and just close this out with. Hope you guys, you know, just like enjoy the matches, you know, enjoy spectating it. I might play Injustice 2 again, I don't know, you know, like, we'll see, because the game is fairly dead. Like I mentioned in the other video, it's a pretty old game. Not like old, but like it's old in a sense that the scene and the community for it is fairly dead. You know, so you're not going to find too many players online to begin with anyways. Like, you just have to find, like, private matches from people that are still continually playing it. But yeah, again, that's really it. I'm not really sure what the next video is going to be. Possibly maybe a Sindel guide. But, you know, you guys will know when it comes. And, you know, I'll try to be more interactive. I'll try to engage in the comments. But that's just about it. I mean, yeah. I hope you guys have a good day or night. Again, you can follow me on Twitter or Twitch. Same exact name, Akromaniac27. And take care.
Aphrodite forbids you. Aphrodite forbids you. Hail Athena! Submit to me. Hail Demeter! Hail Hermes! Dominating. Curse you. Athena will guide me.
Wonder Woman wins. Begin.
Hail Artemis! Hail Hestia! Your technique is flawed. Hail Athena! Hail Hestia! Find another world. This one needs me. Hail Hestia! Hail Hestia! Hail Hermes! Hail Athena!
Wonder Woman wins.
Another imposter threatens me? I am Diana of Themyscira. Go back to your universe.
Begin.
Hail Athena! Hail Athena! Hail Hestia! Hail Demeter! Yield if you wish to live. I'm done. Hail Athena! Hail Hermes! Hail Athena! Yield if you wish to live. Hail Hermes! Try to keep up. I will not stumble. Hail Athena! Hail Demeter! I'm dominating you.
Wonder Woman wins. Begin.
Hail Hestia! Aphrodite forbids you. Find another world. This one needs me. For the gods. Aphrodite forbids you. Hail Athena! Hail Hermes! Hail Athena! Hail Demeter! Find another world. You die today. Hail Demeter! Hail Artemis! Hail Hermes!
Wonder Woman wins. Begin.
Hail Demeter! Hail Hestia! Hail Athena! Yield if you wish to live. Hail Artemis! Hail Athena! Yield if you wish to live. Hera curse you. Athena will guide me. Hail Artemis! Hail Hestia!
Wonder Woman wins. Begin.
Hail Hermes! Hail Demeter! technique is flawed. Hail Hermes! Hail Demeter! Hail Hermes! Hail Demeter! Aphrodite forbids you.
Wonder Woman wins.
Hail Athena! Die with honor. You're no match for me. Hail Athena!
Wonder Woman wins. Begin.
Hail Hestia! You will submit. Hail Hestia! Your technique is flawed. Hail Hermes!
Wonder Woman wins. Begin.
Hail Hestia! Hail Demeter! Hail Hestia! Your technique is flawed. Hail Hermes! Your technique is flawed. Yield if you wish to live. Hail Demeter! Hail Hermes!
Wonder Woman wins. Begin.
Hail Hestia! Your technique is flawed. Hail Athena! Your technique is flawed.
Wonder Woman wins.
You're wearing my face. We're equals in every way. This battle will decide that.
Begin.
Hail Hestia! Hail Hestia! Your technique is flawed. Hail Demeter! Aphrodite forbids you. Your technique is flawed. Hail Hermes! Aphrodite forbids you.
Wonder Woman wins. Begin.
Hail Artemis! Hail Hermes! Hail Demeter! Hail Demeter! Your technique is flawed. Aphrodite forbids you. Hail Demeter! Ready to lose your head? Still overconfident. Hail Hestia! For the gods! Your technique is flawed. Hail Hermes!
Wonder Woman wins. Begin.
Hail Hermes! Your technique is flawed. Hail Athena! For the gods! For the gods! Submit! Hail Hermes! Your technique is flawed. Hail Hermes!